Mornings with Intention podcast, where we bring you stories from around the globe. Hello and welcome to Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention podcast. And I have a returning guest today, Nasira, coming back to us. So, welcome. How are you today?
Hi, thank you for having me, Eva. I am wonderful. Thank you.
You're
Such a
welcome.
pleasure being back again.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you again. So we'll jump right into it. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, and then we'll jump into some questions I have for you.
Sure. So, I'm a global life and leadership coach. I have two international bestsellers with Action Takers Publishing with Linda and Sally. I'm also an ICF certified professional coach. And my mission is to help people get unstuck. I am the founder and the chief coach of The Energy Architect, and I bring an approach which fuses neuroscience, psychology, and inner energy science to help leaders dismantle limiting beliefs. The objective is to access higher awareness and to build power in that authentic, conscious, and um, something that is very deeply human. So I have more than about 26 years of corporate leadership experience, and today I'm happy to say that I work with people across the globe. I work with people in Asia, Australia, the US, UK, and the Middle East. I've also been globally recognized, and I'm so happy that I listened to my heart and took this leap of faith um, into becoming an entrepreneur, and here I am today.
Wow, that's so wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Um, so you say, I love that, the energy architect. Maybe for those that are maybe seeing you for the first time on my channel, what does this title really mean, and how did this identity form in your personal journey?
This is actually a long story, and I did not think it would become as serious as it has become today. So, the Energy Architect actually started off as an assignment about 6 years back, 7 years back. It was an assignment for my strategic digital marketing class. And I came up with this name, the Energy Architect. I wasn't sure if the name was used anywhere else. So I kind of searched a lot of sites and I I took it as I took that name. The objective of the Energy Architect is really that everything depends upon the energy that you bring into the environment and the space that you're in. So, we can blame a lot of things that don't work out for us on different things, on different people, situations. But the objective of Energy Architect is really to um, design the energy, your own energy, and to be able to really create these opportunities for yourself. So when you live intentionally, you kind of decide that you kind of choose as to how you want to move forward. And that is what the energy architect is about. So, yeah, like I said, it started off as an assignment and it was like a bee in my bonnet. It just did not go away. And then when I decided to become an entrepreneur, the energy architect was the name that I chose because I think deciding that name it was meant to come to me. And this entire new journey just unfolded in front of me after starting with this.
Mhm. That's wonderful. Um, So tell me a little bit more about the energy, like the role it plays, and what do you teach? A little bit more about this part.
Okay. So I started energy work sometime in 2011. I started off with pranic healing, and that is when I was still with my corporate job. So, you know how it is when there's this part of you that believes that this energy really works, and it really does not go with a corporate image. So I kind of kept it under wraps for a long time. That I thought it was like a hobby, right? And so I started off with pranic healing and understanding the modalities of energy. Started learning how to balance your chakras and which chakra was responsible for how things shape up in your life and how you respond to things. I started seeing that change in my life. That is where it all started. And I wasn't serious about this energy work because in the beginning, because I thought it was like a hobby, but
Mhm.
that voice just kept getting louder and louder. And from pranic healing, I shifted to other modalities of healing. So I understood and learned more about somatic energies, somatic healing, the inner child healing. I started understanding more, and the more I got into it, it's just like I was completely into it. And I knew that that was really calling out to me. That voice was so much more louder than what I was doing. It gave me meaning, it gave me stability, and more than anything, my heart was with it.
Mhm.
I could feel myself just blooming. It's like it never felt like I was really putting in any work because it just came very, very naturally to me. And yeah, that's and when I went in for ICF coaching, which is your International Federation coaching, professional coaching, I felt that it may make more sense if I was able to really integrate this energy work into my coaching. Because when it comes down to trauma really lives within the body. And no matter how much you coach and no matter how much you do this mindset work, it really doesn't go away from your body. It lives in your body. And the only way that you can take it out is through various modalities. Like you can't sweep an emotion uh, under the mat, thinking that it's just going to go away. And you keep layering it with more mindset work and keep layering it with more rewiring. All of that is great. But what happens to the trauma that really lives in your body? And that is what got me to integrate the energy work into my coaching because coaching definitely is extremely powerful. But when you do energy work and it just goes to a much, much deeper level where we really remove it from the body. So if I have to give you an example, if you take a really dirty piece of cloth and if you dip it in water, it's soaked with water, right? And then you squeeze it, okay? And like all this water just comes out, okay? And that cloth is cleaner. And then you take that same cloth and put that into a clean bucket of water, a clean vessel with water, okay? And it's like you empty whatever does not serve you anymore. And that is when you are ready to absorb what really you want to imbibe in your life. Does that give you an idea?
Yeah, no, I really love that example. I wanted people to get a better understanding instead of like fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing, a more in depth, so people can really benefit of what you're saying and get a bigger picture instead of, a little bit. And of course, there's a lot more to it in your, as you teach and to work with your clients, but, at least gives them a little bit information. So thank you so much for sharing that. Um, and then I see how you all join it together, and it's really beautiful. Your coaching, leadership, mentoring, everything together. It all comes beautifully now. Yeah. Great balance, right? So you are now also going to be launching another book. It's called Yes, I Can and I Did. So congratulations. We're actually both in that book. So it's really exciting.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
congratulations to you too.
Thank you so much. So I'm really excited because it's launching December 2nd. And it's another wonderful collaboration book with filled with, stories of resilience. What inspired you to share your story in yet another project? Can you give us a little bit glimpse into the chapter maybe?
Yeah, sure. I'd love that. So, when I was young, I used to be extremely shy. And it was a cultural thing. Women are conditioned to sacrifice, um, serve, and all of these are wonderful. But it's always been for other people and not so much for themselves. And my grandmother used to keep telling me that, this is how we're supposed to be. This is how we're supposed to be. And as I grew older, a little bit older than that, uh, it was always confined to very specific ways of doing things. And even though I didn't completely believe it, I lived by it. And I realized how shy I was and how underconfident I was only because I was not being authentic. And as I grew older and through my journey of coaching and healing, what I realized was that all of these lines that are drawn, these limitations, is not set by you. These standards, excuse me, these standards are not set by you. These standards are set by other people. And with all due respect to them, it is how they lived their life. And we're all like, our parents would tell us, like, this is what you would do in a certain situation. So I think once I started listening to myself and taking care of myself, I started breaking these barriers for myself. And every time I took like one step forward, I started getting more confident. And I used to be somebody who could never voice my opinion, who was always scared to speak. I was very scared to, I was always scared of other people's judgments. But one by one, and very respectfully, I kind of broke those barriers. And I broke every rule in the book that was set for me. So, right from the kind of education to the person that I'm married to my profession, to everything. So, while people said that's not the way you do it, I, in my heart, believed that, I actually can. And just because somebody said that I couldn't does not mean that I can't.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been able to actually expand my world only because I realized that those limitations were not set by me, but by other people. And what are limitations? It's only what you believe you can do. So what would happen if you change the way you thought about things and how you approach things? So are some things really absolutely impossible? So I'm not saying like I'm going skydiving or doing something really drastic or serious, but
Hey, it's actually
it's
fun
just been
skydiving. I've done it,
yeah,
but I know where you're
but
coming from. I
yeah,
had to
it's
face
it's
a lot.
just those yeah, it's just those little baby steps
Yeah.
that I took, and everybody kept saying that it's wrong, and uh, I think I would have been the black sheep of my family. But today I feel as though everybody's so proud of me.
Yeah.
And it's all because uh, I broke every rule in the book to believe that it was possible, that I could do it. So I did it.
Yeah. And I like how it kind of we have some similar ways the way we because I was also very shy. In our culture too, you have to kind of go by, some rules. But over time, like you said, things we take on, they're not really our thoughts, our beliefs, and eventually we want to break free from the way we're in a cocoon, you could say. And yeah, sometimes people break right away and they do a drastic change, and sometimes it takes us to do it step by step. So we don't get either traumatized or something else happens, to us. So yeah, some people do a cold turkey, as they say, some do step by step, and to each their own, I say. But um, if other people in the past didn't break free from where they were, we wouldn't probably have cars or other things too, So sometimes we have to, and it's not like we're doing, something bad or, whatever, right? We are souls that want to grow and expand and show others that things are possible again too. And that's why I also took, part in this book. And I know you don't have it, that's why I'll show it.
Yeah, we don't have it yet. Yeah.
And
Thank
even
you.
in my book too, like in my chapter in the book too, I talk about those steps, sometimes it takes that. And when you get to that point, like yourself, even now, you're at full throttle, you're helping people globally, you're mentoring, you've like stepped fully out of your comfort zone. And I really congratulate you on that because it takes tremendous inner strength. You don't, it
Thank you.
doesn't just happen overnight. Sometimes it takes time, courage, working with yourself, realizing all the gifts you have. And, sometimes like, so what other people, maybe they silently wish they could too, but they're so wrapped up into their own way of thinking and where they came from that they're not able to, but some of us, we want more out of this life because we know it's short. We want to live the best life and keep going, right? So I really applaud you for that because it takes a person,
Thank you, Eva. And
um
I could say the same for you too.
well, thank you. So many questions I want to ask. Like there's a lot of authors in this book, I think about 21 or so. So each author shares a story, the path. What was one challenge that you may have come across writing this chapter? Is there anything? And if not, what is the thing you want people get most out of your chapter?
Mhm. Well, the one thing I definitely did not do was put down every rule that I broke because there were so many.
Reading
Okay,
book of its own. No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
but we have a limit, right? So I kind of squashed everything into that and tried to make it um something that has really worked for me is that I decide what I want to do and I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I commit to it and then I work backward. That is something that has always worked for me
Mm-hmm.
because if I have to say that today I'm an author, uh, I would have never thought I'd be one. Even when I was 35, I don't think this would have ever crossed my mind. But the way things worked out for me was really not intellectualizing it too much. It was dreaming, not sure how to really do this, but committing to it for some time in the future. Well, not too much into the future, but say maybe 6 months or 3 months. And then I've had no choice but to finish it. And I must say that if I had to intellectualize it, I would have been gripped with fear and there would be so many doubts. So blocking that part out really did help me because at the end of the day, it was just now you have no choice but to do it. So you just do it. Don't think about it, just start. So that has really worked for me.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Um, and yeah, that like I never thought I would have a podcast of my own. And then once you read the chapter, then you'll understand why.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always started with, if someone said, "What, you can't do that," then it would be like, yeah, okay, but why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? I mean, it's not to challenge them, but really to understand myself and really, is this aligning with the voice inside of me, and why is it impossible? So that's why I would commit to it and just then it's just action mode. So this gap between the knowing and the doing,
Mm-hmm.
just do.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Beautifully said. So you do work with the energy and that is the theme you live by and teach. So how can someone maybe listening to this podcast right away elevate their inner energy when they feel stuck, maybe discouraged, disconnected, things like that? Any tips you can give us?
Yeah, sure. The first thing I would say is don't be too hard on yourself and really listen to yourself. A lot of people out there, they try and fake it till they make it. And I do not believe in that. I don't like it. Um, I personally, that's just my point of view. I don't. Because when you are not authentic, you are not consistent. But what if you are constantly listening to that inner voice? Because all of our souls, they came with a purpose, something that we were supposed to do, that we were meant to do. And then somewhere along the line, we've gotten carried away by opinions, people's judgments, our own fears, limitations that we've set for ourselves. And that happens if we're not listening to ourselves. And there will always be this feeling of I want more, or I'm not satisfied. When you try and fake it till you make it, or you try to be somebody else, you are not consistent. But when you listen to yourself, that is you. When you're listening to that voice and acting from that space, you will always be consistent. You don't run out of things. So be open to listening to yourself. You know, uh, give that part of you a chance and connect with yourself. Connect, be grounded, and listen to what you're really meant to do. And it's not important that you know what's at the end of that journey. Okay, but you need to keep listening to that voice and you have to start walking in that direction. It's just like one step every single day, and it doesn't look like much. But when you take that one step every day, at the end of 15 days, you realize that, my God, I've moved so much. Okay, and seriously, you still don't know what's at the end of that journey. But you take that step and the path will reveal itself. So really be open to that and don't do something because someone else told you to do it. Do it because you want to do it. Listen to that part of you.
Yeah. Wow, beautiful. So as co-authors, besides, other powerful voices, what does collaboration and shared stories mean to you?
Um, it's beautiful when you look at it because you understand various perspectives. For example, the way my father lived, he still lives, and the way my husband lives. If you look at it, they kind of started similarly, where they've always had to work for everything, and they worked their way up, right? But the way my father described the story and the way my husband described the story, it's exactly the same story, but it's completely two different experiences. So it could be a similar story, but um, like qualities that's so beautifully brought out in this book: resilience and standing up for yourself and listening to yourself and breaking all barriers. Um, the stories are there is you cannot get that perspective from your life alone. And when you see other people experiencing similar situations, um, where maybe courage was required, and then you understand, and it it kind of makes it more wholesome. It gives you like a 360-degree kind of a view,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because challenging a situation is what every author has really put down, but their approach to it has been different. And I am learning through everybody else's story as well. And I hope they are also learning through my story. And a lot of, aha, okay,
Aha moment.
that's also there. Yeah, yeah. So,
That's beautiful.
yeah, so it's like this example, like this, like I was telling you about, like my father and my husband, both are men. They work their way up. My father's story is painful, but my husband's story is funny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about the way they look at it. And they're both very successful, but their experiences out of the same situation was very different.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so of course, this podcast will be released sometime in December. If you do catch my other social media posts, I hope you take time to join us on. We're gonna have a launch party December 2nd at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I will share the links in this YouTube video and of course on my other socials. So the book is available actually on Amazon already. So you can get your copy. Again, we are here for you. Reach out to us if you have any questions. All the contacts, as usual, are in each video, how to get in touch with myself or my guest. And you're more than welcome to book a free call. I offer one. Do you offer a free call, Nasira, as well?
Yeah,
Consultation?
sure. People can connect. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. People who are watching this podcast, your podcast, they are most welcome to reach out to me and have a 30-minute conversation and see how they can get unstuck.
Yeah. And again, we are here for you. So one last question for you, and I think you know my famous question at the end. So Rise and Thrive, Mornings with Intention is the name of the podcast. How important do you think it is to set intention first thing in the morning for the rest of your day? Or what's your view on that?
Oh, I could like speak for another 20 minutes on that. But I will try and keep it brief, Eva, for you.
Oh, good.
So, it is very important. It is extremely important. It is, see, okay, I'll tell you what I do. Okay, I go by the pool, I sit down on the floor, and I do my grounding work. And I block out all of the noise and I meditate for about 45 minutes. That is absolutely important for me. It kind of anchors me. Uh, and I make the intention for the day. But in addition to this, what I also do is I make smaller intentions also for the day as I go along the day. So when I have this to-do list, which I generally make the previous night, and when my day looks very overwhelming, what I do is I make something called a segmented intention. So, what is segmented intention? Just the intention that this day looks overwhelming. I understand. So, I'm making this intention that for this 1 hour, this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to finish it. And when I'm doing that, I'm not going to look at anything else. So, for the next 1 hour, this is what I'm going to do. And I break up my entire chunk of the day into these small intentions. And when you are mindful of it, you're most likely going to make sure that it's done. But the day is broke, the chunk of the day is broken up. So it's easier when you have these smaller intentions and they add up, and before you know it, it's done. So that's me very, very briefly explaining the way I go about intention.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Again, thank you so much for listening to us today. I hope you got some value out of this podcast. Nasira, so nice to have you on again on my podcast. It's a pleasure to have you as always. Hopefully, we cross paths again on another podcast
Yeah.
and
Yes.
or another book. Well, we don't know what the future holds, but you know, anyhow, I wish everyone a wonderful day and thank you so much for watching today. Till next time, take care and thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Eva. Thank you for having me. Thank
You're
you, everyone.
welcome and have a wonderful day. Thank you.